yeah, so anyone who doesn't know, David is like a singer. He's like an artist. He, makes music. I think he made some songs with Jason the Ween, who's a streamer, and Pokimane, who is another streamer. Before we do start talking about anything though, just want to say RIP to Celeste, who is the girl who was found in his car. And my condolences, to her family, her friends. For anyone who doesn't feel comfortable with this sort of topic, click off, go watch something else for a while, go play a game, go touch grass, go make some food, anything. I will understand. Anyway, let's get into it.
Following. The body has now been identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. Authorities said she had a tattoo on her right index finger with the letters SH. David's tattoo is also on his right index finger. And then they show a missing persons report. And it says Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and they show photos of her. Last seen April 5th, 2024. Date of birth 9/7/2010. This is September 7, 2010. I'm just seeing 2010 and seeing a human being born that year. It really rattles me. It still rattles me. Current age 13. So she was 13 when she went missing. So she's been missing for almost a year and a half from this official report. But we would come to find out later that she was officially missing, but she was in contact with some people until about a month ago. Height 5'3", weight 120 pounds. And then it says last seen wearing gray.
This is devastating, I'm not gonna lie. A 13-year-old. Like, I really hope that people watching me right now, at least some of you guys, are somewhat older and can cast your mind back to when you were a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old. Like, when I was 13, 14, I don't think you guys want to know. I was doing the cringiest. If you guys think I am cringy and corny now, you should have gone back to when I was 13, 14 years old, bro. Like, this is insane. And it's just devastating. Like, this person is dead. This human being is no longer here. Like, just fully process that for a minute.
Pants and a black sweater, a hat, and Hello Kitty sandals. Left the house at 9 p.m. on Friday. From rumors that we're hearing is that she was always in and out. There was instability in the home. And then TMZ says that they spoke with Celeste's mom last week, and she told us about her daughter's tattoo, adding it was in red ink. The mom said Celeste had been missing for more than a year, but she was suspicious of the Tesla discovery because she said Celeste's boyfriend's name was David.
Not here to comment on other people's parenting. But if I was a parent and my kid said to me, oh yeah, my boyfriend's name is this, blah, blah, I would want to meet them. Like, even if it wasn't like the 20-year-old artist or whatever, I would just want to know who my child is seeing. But the fact that she hasn't met or doesn't really know anything else is scary.
And yeah, we didn't get much information after this, but then because he hadn't been in LA for over a month, so what people are thinking is, okay, well, maybe this body was decomposing for a month and it was left on a Hollywood street and it wasn't reported stolen. And David's team, they've quieted down, which they should. Then it would come out later that police were hunting for videos that could identify the driver of David's Tesla in the area where his car.
Like, for those of you who don't know the full story, like, it was, at the beginning, people were 100% fully convinced somebody stole his car. Like, genuinely, because there was just no feasible, in their minds at least, no feasible way of him doing this and still doing everything he was doing as an artist.
And it shows it right here. So this is the street or the neighborhood where the car was found. And this does seem like where events happen, where things happen. And you are likely to get towed here if you're parking at the wrong time. So it says David's Tesla was abandoned on a street in the Hollywood Hills before it was towed and impounded with a dead body inside. And cops are scouring the area where the car was parked and looking for video that would identify the driver and maybe crack the case. Multiple people who live on the block where the singer's Tesla was abandoned tell TMZ LAPD swept the area area and are talking with every neighbor they can track down to see if there's ring camera or surveillance video showing his car. We're told cops are not only asking residents for showing the main street where the car was towed from, they're also searching for video showing nearby alleyways, suggesting cops believe that Tesla may have been driven through an alley before being abandoned to avoid detection. We know cops got video of the alleyway from at least one neighbor, but the Tesla was not in the footage. We're told the neighbor who called to have the car towed earlier this month has since talked to police and turned over footage, but we don't know if the video revealed the driver's identity. And they were saying that a bunch of these houses are short-term rentals, so it's hard for them to get into contact with the actual owners of the place. And it was called, so the cops were called after the odor got too out of hand. Now, what they say in the report, it's that it's a chopped up and decomposing body inside. But other people are saying that the body fell apart because it was severely decomposed. So the LA County Medical Examiner said the body was severely decomposed and appeared to have been in the car for an extended period of time before being found. But I don't know what an extended period of time is, because even in less than a week, a body really starts to stink. So for it to get to this point, how long was it there? And how long was it in the trunk? And you got to think, for a tow lot, the smell has to be pungent, because people aren't like, it's not like down the block, or it's not like a residential area where people are constantly walking around, they're close to the home. Like tow lot, people are probably not checking for a lot of those cars. The people working there, at least. Then a lot more information started to surface on social media. One post.
Imagine the person who found it. I know, like... that's one thing I pray I never have to ever come into contact with, because I feel like that must be such a traumatizing experience, and something that you just never want to experience or have to come into contact with. Like, whether it's somebody you know or not, like, that's not something I need ingrained in my brain for the rest of my life.
It says, Celeste and David don't let me sleep. And it says 3:51
See, look. Pictures of them coming out. Like, this is insane, bro. Insane. Like, there's got to be people in either his friendship group or hers who saw this relationship, if there are, because there are a lot of pictures coming out of these two together, and just nobody is saying anything. Like, that's the part that really has me confused, right? Like, I can understand maybe, I don't know, like some of the streamers and stuff he hung out with, them not knowing how old she is, because, you know, they're only meeting on stream, on camera for like, maybe like an hour, 2 hours or whatever. You're not gonna get to know somebody that well to maybe know how old they are. But they must have had friends, like lifelong friends, or friends that they'd known long enough, who would have asked about that, or maybe said something, you know, relating to going to university or something. Weren't they dating? Yeah, I mean, supposedly, that's what people are saying, but that's what I don't understand. How can some people, whether it's on her end or his, be friends with somebody like that and not say anything or not try and do something about it? Like, I understand it's not your business, but you'd have to think of the child in that situation, surely? Like, how old was David? I think he's 20. I actually don't know. I think he's 20. That's me guessing.
a.m. and it's David and what looks to be that girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez in a FaceTime call with somebody else. And this is one of the craziest, most disturbing things about this is this guy is, there are a bunch of people that knew that this was going on, and this guy wasn't, he was trying to hide it, but he was showing a lot more than, I don't even really get it, because I'll give you guys another clip as an example. There was a Discord message that was leaked because this guy had a Discord server, and somebody asked him on December 13th, 2023.
2023, right? She was born in 2010. 13 years old in this picture. I'm gobsmacked, bro. I'm really shook.
Lamp says, hey, who's the girl? And then this dude David says, you are a Fed. It's like, what? And that girl looks like it could be her, but there have been a couple that have looked like her. Like it might be a different girl. But the scariest part about this is that when this first came out, a lot of people were trying to defend it, saying that he was on tour and he kept up appearances.
There's also like a whole thing on Reddit as well, like a bunch of people, I don't know what Reddit community this is or subreddit or whatever. Maybe it's for David, maybe it's for something else. There are a bunch of messages, chats, I don't know what they're called. Posts, that's the word, posts, of people talking about a girl, but they don't specify who the girl is. They would just say like something discreet. So they'd be like some girl that David is talking to, or let's say one of them, I can't remember which one it was, but one of them was like, her name, let's just call her C, and like obviously C and Celeste. Now it could have been a different person.
Some guy actually shared a story that would come to show us that this guy knew what was going on.
Does this not ring alarm bells? Like, this is crazy. Like, when it first came out a couple days ago, I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. But I didn't know it went as deep as this, and it's disgusting. And I really, you know, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I'm kind of shocked. I mean, anyone would be when you find out something like this.
More conspiracy theory type things come out where it says David's hit song Romantic Homicide was released on September 7th.
I don't know how many of you have heard this song, Romantic Homicide, but like, the lyrics are crazy, bro. When you really go over the lyrics, terrifying.
Which was the birthday of...
Also, I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw this thing where XQC was going over, like his, let's say his discography, and he supposedly has released a song every single day on this girl's birthday, which could be a coincidence, but the chances of that are insanely slim.
Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This was in 2022. We do have messages going back to 2023 of them, but I don't know if it's this crazy where the person's dropping it, because like, what are you saying, that he intended on offing the chick years ago? Actually, as a matter of fact, no, it is, he may have known her, because in 2022 he was talking to her, and this was October that we got that message. And then there was also a song that leaked on that he made in December of 2023 called Celeste.
It's not looking good. Whether he did it or not, I don't know, but either way, it's not looking good, because it's like the minimum, right? The minimum is that he was a PDF, and then the max is that he was a PDF who packed up a minor. Like, that's the range we're working with right now. So you've got bad, and then we've got diabolical. So, you know, you got to take your pick, which is absolutely insane. And I know he's had a lot of, like, brand deals and stuff withdraw over the past, like, week or so, understandably. Which is insane, bro.
Yes, but
But, like, this is the thing that really gets me, right? You are a talented person, right? Who is popping off. You're getting a lot of traction online, on TikTok and all sorts of platforms. You're hanging out with other rising content creators and stuff. You will definitely have people who are interested in you in like a romantic way, who are of age people. But I'm sure that there's someone within your fan group, your fandom or whatever it's called, who you would probably be attracted to. Something like this happening is genuinely devastating, because this was like I said, this was a human being. This was a girl who had a family, who had friends, who was going to school, who had hopes and dreams and probably wanted to do crazy things and you know, become somebody successful or have a family or all these different things. And unfortunately, she was misguided and this has happened. And all I can say is I really hope that she's given the justice that she deserves for whoever did this to her. I have seen, look, I know Twitter is not a sane place. I know that. I really try not to spend time on Twitter because people on Twitter don't have brain cells. I'm fully aware of this. But we're really taking it to new heights now, genuinely. Because why am I going on Twitter and I'm seeing people saying Jason the Ween had some part of this? Or Pokimane had some part of this because they did a stream one time. Like, are we serious? Like, I'm not saying he didn't. Maybe he had something to do with this. I don't know. But I highly doubt it because they've hung out like twice. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I don't know why people immediately think, I saw these two people on stream together, therefore, this person must have been involved in what this person's been doing. It's just... the brain cells are missing, bro.
And then there was also Instagram stories of Celeste that he was resharing in 2023. And she has @David with red kissing lipstick emojis, and that's him. And the account was Dean Blunt Lover 444, and he says, "Didn't use my music, SMH." And he reposts that story. And this is crazy. And then they also showed, this was the pic bro showed me. And this was...
yeah, this is, I don't know if you guys remember me telling you about it a little bit. Supposedly, allegedly, don't know if this is true, I'm not confirming anything. David was paying people off, like people from her school or like her friends of friends or whatever, to not say anything about them being together. And then this is supposedly an image of David paying them off again. I don't know if this is true. This is just what I've seen online. So if it is true, that's absolutely insane. And it's crazy that he's hush money. Yeah, facts. It's insane that he's giving kids and other people around them hush money. See, this is what I find to be crazy, right? How do so many people... now, I know that some Discords are like a small little network of people who are friends or whatever, but if this is true and this is genuinely like his fan Discord or whatever with all his fans and stuff, how are there so many people in this Discord that know about all of this stuff? And it's crazy that, like I said, so many people in this Discord supposedly knew about this and were dropping comments about it, and nobody once, or maybe they did because he was talking earlier about someone getting sued or something, but nothing came from it, and you know, there was no sort of police on this situation, which is insane.
% sure it's legit. Someone who was in the server before it was locked screen recorded them looking up this message, and it wasn't edited or anything. He says, "What the F? No effing way, dude. Please send me more if you know." And then he goes on and he says, "Only a small number of people were aware until today. I wish I would have known. I could have used this." He says, "You didn't have your sister added on Discord, right?" He says, "I don't even have a Discord." That's how you know this guy's normal. He says, "Yeah, I was just seeing because someone took a SS of her account. All right, this is what I got." And we've seen a lot of this information, the photos and stuff. And he says, "Are these photos her?" And that song was an unreleased David song. And this is just stuff proving the messages are real. And then that guy says, "Yes, those photos are of her." He says, "Do you know any of your sister's Instagram accounts?" And then he shows those text messages back and forth. He says, "That's my sister, dog." And he shows more photos of his sister.
Sad,
he says, "Yeah, you think this is real?" He says, "Yes, I do. I know who Gus is. He's dead." He says, "What happened?" He says, "He got shot up, dead." And he says, "You think by David or some other ish?"
Yeah, there are a lot of screenshots of her from like secret accounts and stuff she had, because obviously when she went missing, or if she was, I don't know, but if she was with David for this time period, she had like a secret account or something on Instagram or whatever platform where she was contacting like her close friends and stuff. And it's like, some of those screenshots, like, I haven't seen all of them because it's really not something I've delved into too much. I've just been watching a couple like videos about it here and there, but some of those screenshots are disgusting. I'm just warning you guys now because you might read things you don't want to, but this whole situation is just messed up and it's horrible and it's disgusting, and it's crazy how everything's being uncovered so quickly, and how, you know, one incident is now unraveling and showing like the history behind it. Yeah, we'll end the video there. If you wanna go over the screenshots and stuff, by all means do that in your own free time.